mutual understanding and well-being among diverse populations for the benefit of building stronger, more inclusive communities and Americans for the arts.
Closed schools, shut up at home with anxious parents, no contact with peers. How is this pandemic affecting kids?
It has a lot of ups and downs. An up is I get to hang out with all my crazy animals. But a down is I don't get to spend as much time with my friends.
What this experience could be doing to their mental health. That's Sunday on Weekend Edition from NPR News. Sunday morning, beginning at 8 o'clock on WBEZ.
Boston, Chicago.
This is All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Michelle Martin. We're going to start the program today by considering the difficult yet unspoken calculations being made as the death toll from the coronavirus pandemic continues to rise here and around the world. Here in the United States, that number is already well past the number of people killed in the Vietnam War, for example. Experts tell us that number could be much higher if it were not for the social distancing measures and stay-at-home orders in effect throughout much of the country. And yet, with more than 30 million Americans becoming unemployed in just the past 6 weeks, and with businesses of all types and sizes uncertain if they will survive this pandemic, the economic pain is impossible to ignore. So that's what we want to explore this hour. The many trade-offs and difficult decisions facing leaders, small businesses, workers, and even new college graduates in a post-pandemic economy. And we're going to start with the dilemma that governors have been grappling with. Continue in lockdown mode to save lives or reopen for business to save jobs. Several states have opted to reopen starting this weekend, but some in their own states furiously object, saying people will die unnecessarily. In others, armed protesters have been demanding a reopening. They are being criticized as being indifferent to the lives of others. Is that really the trade-off here? Saving jobs versus saving lives? We're going to consider that now with our first two guests. Teresa Ghilarducci is professor of economics at the New School in New York. Professor Ghilarducci, thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And James Brohl is a senior research fellow at George Mason University's Mercatus Center, which is in Arlington, Virginia. Mr. Brohl, welcome to you as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be with you.
So, Professor Brohl, I'll start with you. Is there an actual trade-off in your view between saving lives and saving jobs?
A pandemic is somewhat different than a typical situation the government might deal with. If you looked at, for example, the 1918 Spanish flu, that pandemic hit working age people very hard. And so those cities that shut down earlier tended to have faster economic recoveries in the longer run. The current situation is a little bit different because it's primarily the elderly who are most at risk from the virus, so not necessarily young, healthy workers. So there's clearly some trade-off going on right now between the economy and lives, but it's not really black and white.
Okay, Professor Ghilarducci, how do you answer that question? Do you think this is a trade-off between jobs and lives?
No, not at all, actually. The shutdown has saved lives, and it also has caused unemployment. But the unemployment itself is not a problem. It's the income lost from unemployment. So as long as the Fed and the Congress replaces that income from unemployment, then the loss to the economy will look a lot less than right now when we have 30 million unemployed. 30 million unemployed is very different when there's no income replacement, but now there is. I totally reject the idea that we should count the value of lives of the elderly as somehow much less than the lives of healthy workers. I mean, I see where he's going there, but that's not the calculation that most countries or most governors are even making.
Mr. Brohl, why do you think there's so much difference of opinion among these governors about when to reopen? I'm asking you to speculate to a degree, but is this motivated by different calculations about what the cost-benefit analysis is, or is it more deeply value-driven or driven by more, say, local political considerations in your view?
It's certainly the case that different regions in the country are impacted to different extents by this virus, and New York State is being heavily impacted, obviously, so, but much more than, say, some rural states like South Dakota. So it wouldn't be surprising necessarily to see some of the more rural states open up sooner. I think it's value-driven to some extent. It could be that there are partisan differences of opinion on this issue. I think that's part of it, but it's also probably disagreement about the costs and benefits of these government measures. There's considerable uncertainty surrounding how costly these government stay-at-home orders are. There are a variety of different forecasts out there as to the costs of social distancing in general. Some are as high as $1 trillion a month. It's not clear how much of that is due to the virus itself and natural social distancing that the public would engage in, even in absence of stay-at-home orders. But probably some of that cost is due to these government directives. And not surprisingly, there's just difference in opinion as to whether it's worth it or not to continue that.
Professor Ghilarducci, do you, I don't know how one would measure this, but do you have a sense among your peers in economics? Is there some consensus around among economists about whether this is worth it or not, or what the right way is to proceed? Do you see what I'm asking here?
Among professional economists, the majority opinion is to follow the epidemiologists. All of our models about when it would make sense to restart the economy gradually are following the epidemiologists' curves about when it could be flattened. And that's because we know going back to work too early and in the wrong places could cause a second wave and could cause costs to workers, the productive part of the economy.
Ginagamit yung Remdesivir.
North Dakota. They felt rural,
Pang-emergency
they
lang.
felt far away from New York, they felt safe, and then you had a hot spot in a meatpacking plant, which will destroy many communities in North Dakota for a long time, especially if people move away from eating that product. So we are finding a consensus among economists to take a back seat to the virologists and really spend our time figuring out what
this is a
sectors
Swedish
should go
hospital
back to,
on your
go
lap.
back first. One is
On your
to
lap.
open up the public schools
Swedish hospital.
so that we can have adult
Swedish
workers
hospital.
go back to work in the way that their employers and their unions feel is safe. So among my profession, we are looking at where to open the economy safely. We're not making those cost-benefit analysis about lives.
That was Teresa Ghilarducci, who's a professor of economics at the New School in New York. She's with the Schwartz Center for Economic Policy Analysis. We also heard from James Brohl, who is a senior research fellow at George Mason University's Economics Center. Thank you both so much for talking with us today.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. As some places around the country begin lifting stay-at-home orders, individuals face their own
Chicago
decisions
Marines.
about whether it feels
Chicago
safe to
Marines.
pursue their normal activities. We asked NPR listeners
Public
to tell us
transport
how
bus.
they're making these decisions, and about 250 people
CDA.
responded. NPR's Jeff Brady has the story.
In general, it's clear that even as local officials lift restrictions, many people plan to wait longer before resuming their old routines.
As long as there's new cases, I think, it's not really safe.
Naomi Silas is a
open.
freelance graphic designer and graduate
Drive-through
student in
only.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. A stay-at-home order in her state was extended
Drive-through.
until the middle of this month,
McDonald's.
with some changes. Golfing and boating are allowed now, but Silas says even...
Next can increase stress. Stress fuels addiction. 505-4673 or visit gatewayfoundation.org.
Right now, we're all safer at home. But should you need a new vehicle, Hyundai has options to shop online, and a participating dealer can deliver it right to you. Plus, you'll make no payments for 4 months. To find out more, go to buyhyundai.com.
Get 0% APR for up to 84 months on the 2020 Tucson or Elantra, now with complimentary maintenance. Visit buyhyundai.com or your local Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealer online today. Offer ends May 4th, 2020. Call 224-661-0068 for details.
Radio.com is helping you stay connected, no matter how you're social distancing.
Keep tabs on the latest COVID-19 news affecting your family with local and national news stations, including CNN, Fox News, and more.
Need a break from it all? Radio.com has hundreds of music, sports, and talk stations to take your mind off of current news.
Love podcasts? Radio.com has thousands. True crime, documentaries, and the highly acclaimed podcast from Brene Brown, Unlocking Us.
Listen on the Radio.com app, on Radio.com, or smart speakers and connected devices.
Being single can be lonely, especially at a time like this. Hi, this is Mark Owen, founder of Events and Adventures, the private club for singles. You know, it's funny, they talk about social distancing. What we need is physical distancing, but you still need to have a social life. That's where Events and Adventures comes in. We have amazing online events where our members get to talk to each other and enjoy each other's company. We're finding innovative new ways to help our members stay connected and have a great time. You can come be a part of our comedy clubs and improv nights, cooking classes, happy hours, trivia contests. We have the best event planners in the world, putting things together just for you. This crisis is going to test us all, but together we can get through this. And when we do get through it, there'll be so many things you're going to want to do, people you're going to want to meet, and places you're going to want to see more than ever before. You're going to be excited about being a member of Events and Adventures. Learn more at eventsandadventures.com. That's eventsandadventures.com. Just because you're single doesn't mean you have to be alone.
What's that smell in your basement? Are you ready for the Stinky Basement Quiz? Hi, this is Russ for U.S. Waterproofing. Have you noticed cracks in your foundation walls? Is your crawl space often damp and musty? Has your carpet ever got soaked from seepage? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, it's time to take action. U.S. Waterproofing is Chicagoland's leading basement repair experts. Schedule your free consultation today at uswaterproofing.com. U.S. Waterproofing, a better basement starts with us.
Entercom Chicago and Radio.com's Chicago to Go, highlighting local businesses still open like Joe's Italian Villa at Hills Heights, serving pizza, pasta, sandwiches, homemade sausage at